On today's show, stand-up comedian Mo Mandel is back to co-host. And he'll be sitting down with Fringe star Lance Reddick to get the latest on the show's final season and his new web series, Drone. Then it's DV Tuesday, which means Chris Gore. He'll rate Will Ferrell's Casa de Mi Padre and Friends with Kids. Plus, iOS 6 is just around the corner, and Sarah will break down some of its new features in the feed. And Weston Scott returns to OFAS to test the latest weapons against Nazi zombies. This is a legitimate concern, people! Stick around, Attack starts now.
Welcome to Attack of the Show. I am Mo Mandel.
I'm Candace Bailey. We are coming to you live. So,
right.
Mo Mandel, yesterday was your first day hosting. What'd you think? How'd you feel?
It was awesome. I feel like everyone was, very gentle and they respected my first time. It was weird. The tweets were funny, though. Someone wrote that apparently I look like Kevin, and they said because we both look like we are 15 and 60 at the same time.
How does that even work? 15 and 60?
I guess they looked at up here and down here. I've been told I look like at least a 6-year-old man.
No, but that's good for you because you're an actor and you have a huge age range.
That's right.
You can go 15 to 60? That's huge.
You hear that, Hollywood? There are so many different parts you cannot give me. So just keep the various rejections coming.
Well, we are so excited to have you here all
Thank you.
week. Right now, let's run down the top things on the web.
We are going around the net.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We begin today where the glasses of vodka are bigger than the lifespans of the people drinking out of them. Russia.
Dashboard cams are all the rage there, mostly because this is what it's like to drive and almost die.
That guy's pants are gonna need a bigger cleanup than Chernobyl.
Wait, they never cleaned up Chernobyl.
They didn't?
No.
Well, that does not bode well for that guy's pants.
That's true.
Of course, this is Russia, so that's not even the worst thing to happen to that guy today. Rest in peace, dude. Good luck getting that.
No, poor guy. Now, is there anything the internet loves more than cat videos?
Porn.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a close second are videos of cats like this one.
Now, a lot of people are saying that this video is fake, but we will let you be the judge. Incredible.
So good.
I didn't know we had a live stream inside Katy Perry's vagina. That's impressive.
Oh. So that's why they won't let her on Sesame Street again.
That is one of the
I get it.
reasons they will not let her back on Sesame Street. Now, the world leader in fake news is The Onion. Most times. Sometimes Fox edges them out. And in this next video, we see an interview with two bitchy high school girls that have held a clothing drive for a not-so-fashionable classmate.
It is a reminder that girls can be so cruel sometimes.
So tell us, what made you start the charity clothing drive?
We noticed that there were like a lot of super poor girls at our school, like Crystal, who's basically wearing rags. And so we like had this idea to make up posters that said, bring some decent clothes to school for Crystal because she obviously doesn't have any.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. Like, everybody heard what we were doing, so they all brought like their ugliest, fuggliest clothes.
Well, we have a surprise for you. We sent a camera crew to Crystal's house so she can thank you personally for all you've done for her. Crystal, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, we're here with Megan and Katie, Crystal.
Oh my God, Crystal, look what we did for you. Now you don't have to wear like your grandmother's old blankets to school.
My dad's a doctor, and you know that.
Oh, that must come in handy every time you need an abortion.
What are you talking about?
Crystal, don't get another abortion, okay? You'd be such a great mother.
God, you guys are such bitches.
Oh my God, is she seriously crying right now?
Oh my gosh, that totally reminds me of something. Okay, so my friends and I did the funniest prank at prom. We all voted for this girl as prom queen, and then when she won, we dumped a bucket of pig's blood on her. It was so awesome!
That sounds like Carrie.
No, her name was Darlene. But Carrie was kind of a B too.
Yikes. Oklahoma loves its guns. Maybe not so much its cars.
Weston Scott takes aim at reasonably priced used vehicles.
Now, every year at OFAST, people come from all over the United States to fire high-powered machine guns to anti-tank guns. Well, this year, it's my turn.
Yesterday, I lit up a car with a minigun. Today, I'm on the hunt for some more weapons to destroy a few targets.
Tim, give me a little insight on this.
It's just a regular standard 1919 with a 10-inch barrel. It's a lot of fun just because it makes a big muzzle flash and it's super loud. Normally they're in this configuration, long barrel as issued for military use.
Right, and these are usually mounted on a tripod or a vehicle. Now this, how do you fire this one?
You can shoot off of the tripod, but with the handle you can hip fire it, and it's a lot of fun just hanging on to it.
I'd like to kind of give this a go. Is there anything you could tell me about it before I go through that?
It's going to have a super loud muzzle blast, feel like it's punching you in the face.
Okay, that's exactly what I look for when I'm searching for firearms. I'm looking for the one that's going to make me feel like I'm getting punched in the face.
That was exhilarating. I would not have compared that to getting hit in the face whatsoever. That was close to having sex for me. So, Larry, I have the Galil here, which to me is very similar to the AK-47.
It is very similar.
Okay.
The Israelis took the parts that are most reliable of the AK,
okay,
and then they added better features to it, such as a night sight, a better selector, a bipod,
built-in bipod.
Built-in
I like
bipod,
that.
Wood forearm. They basically took the AK, modernized it, and made it their own, but still kept the reliability factor. And it's .223, so it's a little smaller caliber.
Unlike a lot of the AKs I've ever picked up, it doesn't rattle.
It doesn't, no. And that's one of the reasons what the Israelis did is they made it more of a tight-fitting gun, and it's very accurate, too.
So, Larry, is it cool? Can I shoot this one from the prone?
Sure, we'll pop out the bipod.
All right.
And it'll be much more easier to hit your zombie target that way.
Oh, well, there you have it. Got my nice prone shot off, hit him in the head, and he exploded like every good zombie should. What is this that I'm holding outside of something that looks like it's from Starship Troopers?
Well, what you have is the FN 2000. It's a bullpup design. The magazine comes in from the rear. It's .223 caliber. It's got a Leopold prismatic scope. Cycle rate's around 900 rounds a minute. It's a full auto gun.
How much is a weapon like this going to cost?
This gun in a semi-automatic form is about $2,400.
Okay, can we load one up and take out some targets?
Yep.
All right, I'm about to fire the F-2000 at some nasty zombie targets. They also happen to be Nazis, so I'm going to have no problem taking these guys out. Wow. That's awesome. I'm used to rounds coming out like an ejection port on this side or so, but out of the F-2000, they all roll out the front. That's cool. Now, in my book, it's a damn good day when I get to blow up targets. But stay tuned for tomorrow when we take to the skies at OFAS, where I get to rain down some hellfire.
Right. Thank you, Weston. Not sure I ever want to meet Weston or ever go to Oklahoma. All right now I'm going to try to make sense of some of the top stories of the day. Now, in case you've been living under a rock, or like most Americans, you simply don't care about anything that doesn't have bacon or a Kardashian in it, you should know that it is an election year, which means that signs are taking over your lawns, stickers are taking over your cars, and political ads are taking over your eyeballs. And of course, the best political ads are those that use your opponent's own words against him, or in this election cycle, their own songs against him. Yes, during the primaries, for some reason, Mitt Romney could not stop singing America the Beautiful. So the Obama team cleverly used it in their latest ad.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, America, America.
Wow. Well, at least that was slightly more tolerable than his rendition of Who Let the Dogs Out.
Who let the dogs out? Who?
And far less racist. So the Romney campaign responded with its own musical ad featuring President Obama singing Reverend Al Green's Let's Stay Together to suggest that perhaps the president was getting too cozy with political donors. We would show you that ad, but we can't because it was taken down due to copyright infringement. Oh, you see, Obama could show Romney singing America the Beautiful in an ad because that song is in the public domain. But Reverend Green, thankfully, is still very much alive. So you can't just use his music for whatever you want. You know, it's the same reason that your totally badass hair metal mix keeps getting pulled off YouTube. One of the many reasons. While Republicans are claiming political favoritism at work, it's actually just simply the law. Here's a tip, Mitt. Only songs published before 1923 are public domain. Might be good to actually know the laws of the country that you are trying to become the president of. Now, we went through this list and we took out all the old racist minstrel songs, which was just about all the songs. So we've got 2 left. You can take your pick between Blues My Naughty Sweetie Gives Me or the classic I Want to Go Back to Michigan. Yeah, actually, I hear they have lovely lakes.
I like seeing the lakes. I love the lakes. There's something very special here. The Great Lakes, but also all the little inland lakes that dot the parts of Michigan.
Stop playing games, Romney. Tell us how you feel about the lakes. It used to be that Canadians were only good at 2 things, right? Hockey and ruining the English language. But the figures have come out, and apparently, for the first time ever, our neighbors to the north are on average wealthier than Americans by an entire $40,000 per household. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The whole US of A is like, WTF, brah? How'd this happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happened. The US is the only country where it's easier to find a KFC than to find an ATM. Canadians are richer than us because Americans are withdrawing their money faster than they're shoving in their fried chicken. Yeah. I don't know why I'm so angry at fried chicken. I love fried chicken. These are the facts about this northern Goliath. 1, half of the Canadian economy is a result of Nickelback, and the other half is the result of Justin Bieber, who may or may not be Nickelback's illegitimate son. Now, without them, Canadians would just be the coldest Mexicans on the planet. Not a lot of competition there. 2, all Canadians eat is snow. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. How much poorer would they be if they had an expensive potato-based diet like we do? And 3, a great portion of the Canadian population is made up of Eskimos, beavers, and some strange moose people, and they don't really have much to spend their money on. You know, that's the facts. The Canadians, they just don't have the great things that we have to spend their money on. We have iPhones, we have TV sets, you know. They don't have that. What, they do? Seriously? No. Okay, well, they don't have cars, so. Really? I thought they had like dog sleds and the shoes that look like the tennis. Okay. Well, at least they do not have an awesome private sector medical care system. You know, theirs is free for everyone. Idiots. Perhaps this newfound wealth isn't the result of Canadians doing well, but of Americans doing so well at screwing everything up, huh? Perhaps we are just way better than they are at being morons. You ever think of that? No, I didn't either, because we don't really think of anything down here. Of course, the only people in this country who are happy about this news are the citizens of Arizona, who have finally realized for the first time that people aren't actually trying to sneak into America. No, they're just trying to sneak through America. Yeah, to get to Canada, the real land of milk and honey, or at least the land of hockey pucks and maple syrup. Delicious syrup. In any case, we still have one thing Canadians don't have. That's right, a massive, unnecessary, dangerous stockpile of weapons. Woo! Oh, Canada, your army is very tiny, and you sound Irish in this impression, so... Is that the song? I don't really know. They're not really ever winning anything in the Olympics, so we don't know how their song goes. Finally, in space news, there is a ton of planning that goes into any manned space mission. You know, engineering schematics, launch specifications, how strong the vacuum toilet is to suck the poop out of your butt. That's just a science term. But what's the space program's main priority? Apparently, figuring out what's for lunch. The world-renowned chefs at Lockheed Martin have developed a proposed menu for a 2030 Mars expedition that would sustain 6 to 8 astronauts over the course of a 3-year trip to the Red Planet and back. Now, here's the catch. No cheeseburgers. What? Impossible! Apparently, you can't preserve meat or dairy products for a mission that long, and good old Betsy the cow is too damn scared to fly the plane herself. So the 100 recipes cooked up by Lockheed Martin are all vegetarian. Ugh. Their recipe for Thai pizza: carrots, red peppers, mushrooms, scallions, and some sort of space sauce that has apparently a, quote, spicy kick to it. Yeah, because when you're in an enclosed space for 6 months with other people, you definitely want to be eating spicy food. In addition, astronauts might be able to improve their menus with fruit and vegetables that they can grow in their own Martian greenhouse system, finally catching the space program up with 20 years of groundbreaking science fiction films. And Pauly Shore's biodome. Seriously, come on, we can figure out how to send a spaceship to Mars, but we can't figure out how to freeze-dry meat? That's ridiculous. I think this is going to be a real problem, a classic catch-22, if you will. The astronauts are going to be deprived of meat, thus they won't have the protein and the strength they need to fight off what I can only assume will be a rampaging horde of angry Martians. Yet, they will need these same Martians to supplement their diets. After all, if Martians are anything like humans, they're frickin' delicious. Now, since humans can't, they can't do this themselves, hopefully by 2030, the computers will be advanced enough to solve this problem for us. Now, luckily at G4, we have a huge budget, and thus we have our own supercomputer here on staff. Let's see if he can figure it out. Hey, Hal, can I get a pizza with cheese on it?
I'm sorry, Mo. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Seriously?
I can offer you a delicious lentil-based curry mash.
Okay, Hal, that sounds awful. Just terrible. Is there anything else you got on there? Any other?
How about a delicious Hal burger?
Sounds good.
It is also lentil-based.
Why are you so into lentils? I don't understand. What is it?
Thai pizza with lentils.
No lentils. Where is it? Can you Google something else to your computer?
My baloney has a first name. It's L-E-N-T.
Okay, Hal, I'm gonna have to stop. I don't actually think we don't have the rights to that song. So if you could just.
Fine. Daisy, Daisy.
Yeah, I'm starting to think this is not a supercomputer. I think this is just an overgrown Texas instrument. All right, still ahead, the bad astronomer himself will tell us why decent food is so important to space travel, and we'll be doing that right after this. Joining me now, a man who has spent 10 years working on the Hubble Space Telescope. Now, before creating the popular Bad Astronomy blog, this guy himself is the bad astronomer, Phil Plait, and he's going to answer some questions for us right now. Phil, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well, man. So now we were talking about the food that they have on the space mission. You know, we're talking 6 months in space. Now, why is it important for them to have good food, not just enough food, but actually good, nutritious, but, good tasting food?
Well, remember going back in your personal history, back to college or high school, when you ate the same Contetrazzini day in and day out and how it made you crazy? Well, that's what would happen here. You want to have interesting food because, look, there's not a lot to, well, I shouldn't say there's not a lot to do. They're going to be pretty busy, but they're going to be confined in a small space. They can't get out. You can't just go and take the dog for a walk outside. So the food has to be pretty good. It has to be interesting and different. And also, in fact, in space, you don't taste things as well. The lack of gravity affects your taste buds and your senses. So they're trying to make the food as interesting as possible so the astronauts basically don't kill each other in a 6-month trip to Mars.
We want to avoid as much astronaut-on-astronaut violence as we can, of course. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. If you're bored of eating the same thing, you might try to eat your co-pilot just to spice it up a little bit. That's the concern. Well, I want to talk about the...
That would save weight on the trip, too. So, yeah, it's a good idea.
What's that?
That would save weight on the trip. You should probably talk to NASA about that.
Maybe we should contact NASA right now and be like, hey, we're going to kill 2 birds with 1 violent stone. I want to talk about the Curiosity rover that NASA hopes to land on Mars early this month, or next month. They're talking about the descent. They're describing it as 7 minutes of terror, which is what I described my virginity losing experience as. Why such a dramatic name? What is this whole process like?
You flatter yourself with 7 minutes, but let's see.
I was rounding up 7.5 minutes. I was negative minutes. Okay.
Clearly, I've seen the show. This is called 7 Minutes from Hell because it's a ridiculous descent. The way you have to get to Mars is, well, I should say there are different ways. When you land on the moon, it's easy. You just use rockets. The moon doesn't have air.
Oh, it's easy. It's easy. On a daily basis, I am going to the moon, take the 405, right? Get off on Sepulveda.
Actually, it's a lot harder to drive through there, but coming back to Earth, the Earth has a thick atmosphere, and so you can use that to slow yourself down and to use parachutes. The problem is Mars has an atmosphere, and it's too thin to rely on it to get you all the way down and too thick to ignore it. So what they do is, as this thing is descending, it's in sort of an Apollo-shaped capsule, in fact, and it's going to use that to slow itself down a little bit. Then parachutes will come out and use the air to slow it down more. Then it's going to come out of the shell, and then it's going to have basically the rover is going to descend from essentially a sky crane, which on top has rockets, which will slow it down, and then that thing will eject away, and then it's going to land. The rover itself is going to land, hopefully very gently, on the surface of Mars. This whole process takes 7 minutes. Each step has to work perfectly, or else you're basically dropping a bomb on the red planet, and as much as this thing costs, we'd prefer not to do that.
And it's interesting because I've seen the video that's online, 7 minutes of terror, which everyone should watch if you haven't seen it. It's really fascinating.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool?
Those scientists are they're pretty scary. They talk about it like this is some sort of monster that's going to get you. But what is interesting when I notice is they have old and new technology combined. It seems like, at least how it looks to me. It's like you're right. It does still look like the old Apollo thing, and you've got like a parachute, and then there's just some random rock. I mean, just things that I've never even imagined before, and it's all happening at the same time. I mean, have you guys actually invented any new? Have they invented any new technology just for this mission, or is it just a matter of combining other things that they already, had lying around the lab?
Well, there is a lot of off-the-shelf technology here, and a lot of this is confined by the physics. You want sort of a blunt object to slow yourself down the right amount. We've been using parachutes for decades to do this sort of thing. We've used rockets to descend as well. In this case, though, I like the idea of actually descending using this crane as the thing is hovering over the surface, and it just lowers the rover to the surface. Look, for some of the other ones, they've actually used airbags where they've dropped these things down and they've bounced across the surface.
It's kind of like whatever works. I mean, they're just sort of inventing something as they go along and trying it out, I guess. So
and that worked for Spirit and Opportunity because they only weighed a few hundred pounds. This thing, the rover itself alone, weighs nearly a ton. The entire landing structure weighs 4 tons. So they have to do a combination of all these things to get down safely.
Now, that's incredible, a ton. And what are they hoping to, what's their primary thing that they're trying to accomplish? I mean, so much has gone into this, so much money, so much time. What are they hoping to get out of this?
Well, if you want it in really general terms.
I want it as general as possible because I'm already lost about what we're talking about.
Science!
Okay, you hear it here, folks. Science time. No, but, okay, I know there's obviously a million things, but what is like if we could say, hey, we got this, that was awesome?
Okay, the thing is, Mars is smaller than the Earth. Right now it's very dry. It doesn't have much of an atmosphere. And we think that in the past, 1 billion years ago, it used to be a lot more Earth-like with a thicker atmosphere and more water. We're trying to figure out why it's different now than it was then. So what the Curiosity rover is going to do is it's going to land very close to the equator of Mars in a crater called the Gale Crater. And it's going to investigate that area and look to see if now or sometime in the past it was possible that it had a more habitable environment, if there was liquid water there and thicker air. So it's loaded with all kinds of instruments that can test the soil, test below the surface, and look at the mineral composition and see what things were like in the past.
Awesome. So we're maybe getting a little bit of a look into our own future. Well, Phil, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you schooling me and all of us. So give it up. Phil Plait, ladies and gentlemen, from Bad Astronomy. And now we are going to kick it over to Candace.
Thank you, Bo. Still ahead, Lance Reddick from Fringe will join us live in studio, so stick around.
All the news you need to know. The feed.
It's Tuesday, July 17th, and here are your top stories. Fanboys, your smartphone is about to get smarter, and your iPad is too. The third beta of Apple's iOS 6 was just released to developers, and trust me, we have a lot to look forward to. Now start thinking of a new excuse for mom, because FaceTime's upgrade makes it possible to chat via your cellular network. No Wi-Fi necessary. But rumors are flying that your cellular provider, AT&T, may charge you to use the service, so you might be able to blow mom off with the excuse that you just can't afford a face-to-face conversation, mom. Next, Apple's Map app snubbed Google with some pretty awesome new improvements. It includes a flyover feature complete with interactive 3D views and a new turn-by-turn GPS navigation dictated by Siri's soothing voice. Not only that, you can plan around traffic delays with its crowdsourced traffic information option. Gosh, how have I been driving in Los Angeles without this? Anyways, the iPad gained a substantial update too. iMessage will finally recognize phone numbers as valid contact information. Now, word is Apple will release iOS 6 with the iPhone 5 this fall, but nothing is official yet. Now, NASA has released a new game for the Xbox 360 to coincide with the landing of the Mars rover Curiosity. The game uses the Kinect motion interface to test the player's ability to land the 1-ton rover on the surface of Mars, and features tons of photos and videos chronicling the rover's journey. Once fans master the landing themselves, they can tune in to watch the rover in real life on August 5th as NASA TV simultaneously broadcasts their live coverage of the landing on Xbox Live. So what are you waiting for? Download Mars Rover Landing for free and get your science on. Yes, now hackers, control your urge to create a security breach. It is just getting dangerous. A German man has replicated usable keys for high security cuffs using a 3D printer. Yes, at last Friday's Hackers on Planet Earth conference in New York, a hacker who goes by the name Ray made law enforcement sweat as he opened handcuffs with plastic copies of keys he had printed earlier. Now, unlike other locks that have unique keys, any copy of a standard key will open a manufacturer's cuff. Sheesh, maybe we can run a background check on people who buy 3D printers? Is that legal? I don't know. And finally, in half awesome, half horrible end-of-the-world news, 7-Eleven stores in Singapore have installed machines that dispense mashed potatoes and gravy. Yes, this is the latest update in the recent trend of strange overseas fast foods, like the Darth Vader burger, remember that? And the Middle Eastern cheeseburger pizza we showed you a few months ago. But if watching processed starchy paste sputter out of a metal tube and then getting drenched in brown grease makes you hungry, 1, you're weird, 2, you better call your travel agent because there are currently no plans to bring this contraption stateside. Womp womp. I am Sarah Underwood. You have just been fed. Stay tuned. Lance Reddick will be here live to talk about his new web series and the last season of Fringe.
is up? Please welcome from Oz, The Wire, Lost, and Fringe, the very talented Lance Reddick.
Yeah. See, now I know that my wife called all of you guys and told you how to do that.
Your wife was very specific. She said, Lance, he needs a lot of applause just to kind of get into it. So we've been schooled, very much so.
Good.
No, we're huge fans of yours. I mean, I got to say, as an actor, you have somehow been a part of just one incredibly quality series after another. I mean, Oz, The Wire, Fringe, Lost. It's so rare to not have a bunch of crap in your resume. I'm only speaking from my own horrible resume. How have you managed to, is that a luck thing? Could you have just as easily booked CSI Miami and have been that guy?
I did.
You did?
Oh, wait. Well, let me go back.
I don't mean to insult CSI Miami. It's a great show.
Because I did have a recurring role in CSI Miami.
I'm sorry. I should have done my research. Those episodes were great, by the way.
Wait. I should not have said that.
You were also in an episode of The Nanny in 1997.
Yes, I was. Yeah, I was.
No, but I mean, do you walk around? Do you feel like, God, I've done it? I mean, do you feel? Are you a fan of your own work?
My fan of my own work. Well, it's funny because when I was on the shows, there was the particularly Oz and The Wire. They were those great shows that nobody was watching.
Right.
So The Wire really didn't blow up until it aired in its 5th season, and really when we were shooting the last season of The Wire, that's when Hollywood really started talking about it, and really my casting on Lost came out of that. And then, there's some association with Lost and Fringe because they're both J.J. Abrams shows. So I was on a kind of a short list for that show.
Right, so it just sort of piggybacked on top
Yeah.
of itself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a huge fan of The Wire. As a matter of fact, I was wondering if you could just indulge me for a second. My favorite thing was the way you and McNulty were going at each other. Can you just say, Mandel, you're off the case? Just in that classic Lieutenant Daniels way. Your wife said you'd want to do this. That's the only reason I bring it up.
See, she gives you notes, but I need to give her notes before she calls y'all. Okay.
Come on, we got to get Avon Barksdale.
Y'all shut up. Okay.
That was my best drama, by the way. Don't laugh at it. We got to get Stringer Bell and Avon.
Go home.
I'll take it. I will take that. Well, because you're so good at playing that tough, authoritative figure. Is that a part of your real personality in real life?
Not according to my kids. I mean, no, that guy's not me. I mean, I'm not going to say there aren't parts. I'm not going to say that there aren't parts of him that I find in myself. Mm-hmm. Being domineering and
you don't like cutting line at Ralph's.
No,
you're not just in charge of everything.
No, that's a character I've created.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not really me.
Well, I know you're obviously one of the stars of Fringe, coming up on your final season, which is very.
Yeah.
I know the fans are excited, and you were just at Comic-Con, right? You were doing some press stuff down there.
Yeah, we were there. Well, we got there Friday night, and all our press stuff was most of the day Saturday, and then the big panel was on Sunday morning.
So what are those fans like? I mean, those fans have got to be very different from Oz fans or The Wire fans.
Wow. It's funny, Jessica Nicole Pruitt, who plays Agent Farnsworth on our show, she and our buddies, and, my wife and I hang out with her and her partner, and from time to time. And, we flew down together with them. And so when we were going into the hotel, Jessica was basically just like Betty Boop.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, she had the hair and the glasses. And
were you costumed up as well? Were you like
I thought I was incognito because I had on...
AKA, you did not put in the effort to get dressed up.
I wore a Breaking Bad cap.
Oh.
And I thought people would I'll look like a fan.
Yeah.
And so we got out, as soon as we got out of the van to go into the hotel.
Even when you pretend to be on a show, it's a very quality show.
Well,
look at that.
No, I wasn't trying to pretend to be.
There's no chinks in your armor.
I wasn't trying to pretend to be on a show. I was trying to pretend to be a fan.
Okay.
So even though, I wasn't pretending I'm a fan. But anyway, so I had my hat on, and we got out of the van, and First thing that happens is somebody accosts Jessica, and I just roll past. I said, okay, I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
I'm doing my thing.
You're like a ninja.
Yeah, we go, we check in, then we head for the elevators, right? We head for the elevators, and I'm inundated with people.
Yeah.
And they knew where I was staying, and they knew when I'd show up, because there's like 10 people with a gazillion photos, and the first photo somebody shows me is Broyles wrapped in a blanket blowing bubbles from the LSD episode from 419, and Jessica walks by, and she's going...
Yeah, you're not going to sneak past Fringe fans. I want to talk real quick, though, because you have this new series coming out called Drone, right? Now, that is exclusively coming out on YouTube on the Yom Yomf channel.
Yep.
Now, tell us about that, because I've seen the trailer for Drone, and all I can tell is that it looks awesome. But give us a quick synopsis of like what the show is and who you're playing.
Well, once again, I'm a commanding officer. I'm a badass.
What's that?
I'm a badass. Oh, can I say that on you?
You can say badass,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Only if you say, Mandel, you're off the case, though, in a dangerous way.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's okay. He doesn't have to do it. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Go back to Drone, because we're excited about this.
I think it's really cool. I mean, Bobby Glickert, who is the writer-director, and Clark Baker, who is one of the executive producers, they basically approached me with the script and wanted to know if I was interested. And when I read it, I thought it was really cool, and I really liked, for all the cops that I played, I've rarely gotten a chance to run around with a gun. So I thought I can do it here.
Right.
And
no, it looks big and exciting. I mean, it's like it's a YouTube show, but it looks like the budget or whatever is huge. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of stunts and stuff going on.
Well, it's set slightly in the future, science fiction, and it's about this robotic combat drone that's one of an entire army and series that's created, that's manufactured by this mercenary corporation that I'm the head of. And
authoritative figure again.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like Blackwater, but with robots. Although we've got a lot of real soldiers too. And this one drone in the field goes rogue. Unfortunately, I can't tell you why. And it's all about us trying to recover it and what happens.
Well, that's awesome, man. We can't wait to find out. Real quick, anything else you want to tell us that you got coming up?
I am getting to play Ra's al Ghul in the...
Man, you got the best career ever, man.
In the new animated Beware the Batman series.
All right, well, that's awesome. We were looking for that. We're going to be looking for Drone, Fringe, final season coming up. Thank you so much, Lance Reddick, for being here, man.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And that's on the Yom Yom channel. Once again, we go over to Candace.
Chris Gore's here next. It's DV Tuesday, and he's playing Buy, Rent, or Pass with Will Ferrell's new Spanish movie, Muy Caliente. This portion of Attack of the Show is brought to you by Butterfinger. The end is near. Go to facebook.com/Butterfinger to see how you can become Butterfinger's last spokesperson.
Tomorrow on Attack of the Show.
American Pie's Jason Biggs is here live with his new political film, Grassroots. Then on Gadgetron, Matt Meyer gets his hands on Toshiba's new Android tablet, the Excite 7.7. And Weston Scott takes to the skies at O-Fest, this time to destroy a car from a helicopter. Yup, it's as awesome as it sounds.
It's Attack of the Show tomorrow at 7.
Chris Gore is the Charles Schwab of DV Tuesday. Welcome back, film expert Chris Gore. Yes, I like your enthusiasm today.
I won Comic-Con. I won Comic-Con.
You won it, huh?
I won it, yes.
Congratulations, good for
Survived.
you. All right, what's up first?
We have Casa de mi Padre.
I cannot believe Will Ferrell did this entire film in Spanish.
And I thought to myself, as I'm watching it, I have to read subtitles, but it is so hysterical. It's basically like if Will Ferrell were in Cowboys and Aliens, but there were no aliens, that's what this is like. It's like a Western, but it's also kind of a grindhouse, with drug dealers, and it's the way the story's told. When we've seen movies like this before, but there's a sequence that kind of derails, where they explain why they didn't have the budget to show this amazing action sequence. All the animals are like puppets. There's an amazing, it's great, and there's an amazing sex scene where I'm like, oh my god, that's like incredibly racy, this sex scene. Then I realize he's making out with a mannequin. It's just,
of course he is.
It's just it's told incredibly creatively, and I think that that's what makes it so appealing. And Will Ferrell just doing all of this in Spanish is
That's
funny.
amazing, and I just love Will Ferrell in general, so I love that too.
He's so good in this, and it's just one of the most original comedies I've seen in years.
Oh,
not
good.
traditional stuff.
All right, so bottom line?
Bottom line is buy it.
Yes!
And a great commentary with Will Ferrell and all the filmmakers.
I'm
awesome
sold.
stuff.
All right, what's our next DVD?
Friends with Kids.
Now, this film is about a couple of friends who decide to have their kids together since all their friends have gotten married and had kids of their own, right?
Exactly. They see how miserable all their married with kids friends are. So like, why don't we just have kids and then we'll have a kid together and then we'll just not be together.
And it doesn't go so well?
Doesn't go so well, but this is one of those movies like I remember seeing the trailer for it and going like, oh, this is going to be awful. White people problems. And
white people problems.
Exactly. I was like, you know, I totally got sucked in, mostly because of great cast: Kristen Wiig, John Hamm, and Adam Scott. Adam Scott, who you've seen in stuff like he's in Parks and Recreation. He was in Our Idiot Brother. This guy's so versatile in terms of his ability to do comedy and then also drama. I mean, he's done serious drama too, and that's really what's required in this. It gets really heartfelt. I don't get sucked in by movies like this, folks. I totally got sold.
And you did?
Yes.
Oh, I like it.
It's very emotional, and you would probably like it a lot.
I think I would love it. What's the bottom line?
Bottom line is rent it.
Okay.
So worth seeing.
You're so positive with the DVDs today, Chris.
Well,
I'm liking
yes.
it.
Just
All right.
wait.
What else do you have to check? Okay.
Just
what else
wait.
do you have to check out?
The Three Stooges.
What do you think about the Farrelly brothers doing a contemporary take on the Three Stooges?
Well, first of all, I was so looking forward to this when it was going to star Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro. And now it still has kind of a weird cast. Like, some of the nuns in the movie are played by, like, Jane Lynch and Larry David and Jennifer Hudson, which is weird. But and at first, it just doesn't really work. And I kind of got into the physical comedy, especially with the cast of The Jersey Shore.
Wait, they were in it?
Yeah, the cast of Jersey Shore is in it. And seeing them tortured by Mo, who becomes a reality TV star, is kind of funny. It's kind of the best part of the whole movie. Is him just boing, ding, ding. I mean, it's like all the torture you'd love to see them go through on that show. Guilty pleasure of mine. So I don't know that it completely works as live action. I feel like if they'd done it in black and white, more creatively, like Casa de Mi Padre, or even if they'd done it digital, like just do it as a CGI animated cartoon, I think it could have worked. But it just reminds you that, like, hey, are the Three Stooges on somewhere? I'll bet I can find some clips on the internet. I bet I can DVR that somewhere. So it's just a reminder of, I really wish I was watching the real Three Stooges.
Okay, so you didn't love it.
Didn't love it and really wanted to. Like, I like that gross out physical comedy. The Three Stooges are a classic.
So bottom line?
Bottom line is pass.
No, well, we got a rent and a buy, so that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
For more gore, check out his Podcrash podcast on iTunes. Go anywhere. It's time for today's epic fail.
Yeah.
The brutally hot summer is forcing us to stay cool any way we can.
But this is by far the least coolest thing we have seen in a long time.
It's like Ninja Warrior meets The Price is Right.
Meets that ball that chases Indiana Jones at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Fail her!
Fail!
The best part about that is the way they did the high-pitched screaming.
I can go higher pitched than you.
Can you do it? Let's go.
I'm 6, so it's not going.
Yes, I win! I don't know if I win or lose.
Great show today.
Thank you. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you. It's nice having you here, Dig.
Thank you. I look forward to being here tomorrow.
All the rest of the week.
Yes.
Thanks to Lance Reddick, Bill Blake, Chris Gore, and Weston Scott, and Sarah Underwood.
Give up for Sarah Underwood, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
And you.
And me.
Let's give it up for Mo Mandel. Mo Mandel, everybody.
Hey, all right. Good night. I'll tell you.
So what are your plans tonight?
I am going to go log on to momandel.com and see where Mo Mandel is going to be performing around the nation.
That's so much fun.
Is that what you're doing too?
Yeah.